Weeks now since we launched our 360 initiative, and since then we have done a ton of stories exploring multiple viewpoints on a variety of issues.
From vaccinating your kids or not to the drilling rigs on Starbucks mugs, we've started the conversation and you've been joining in. You've written us emails, posted comments on Facebook, even called us. So now we are ramping things up with the launch of Table7.
So every month we will gather people just like you around a table at a great Colorado restaurant or a cool microbrewery to talk about important, thought-provoking, even entertaining subjects.
We will invite lawmakers and leaders to sit down with you to have an honest, straightforward, no BS conversation about the issue at hand.
And how better to launch this than at Number 7's restaurant, talking about a topic near and dear to the hearts of Coloradans, our Denver Broncos.
The new season kicks off this Sunday, and Troy Rank is sitting down at Elway's restaurant in Cherry Creek with some diehard Broncos fans and one of their favorite leaders, Chris Harris.
Table. You got some fans here for you.
Where am I?
Right here. This is your seat.
Okay.
I'll be across from you there.
What's up?
Chris, Kenny.
How y'all doing?
Good to meet you, man.
How y'all doing?
How you doing today?
How y'all doing?
Hey, Chris Roll. Nice to meet you.
Man. I got to sign that for you. How you doing?
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
How y'all doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good.
Tired?
I'm exhausted. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, I bet.
We got back at like 3:30.
Really?
Yeah, we're real late.
Oh, wow.
And then you got to fly from or drive that airport back to Dove Valley.
Yeah.
So really, you don't get back to like 4:15.
But you're still here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You don't sleep during football season either way it goes.
Yeah, you got up and worked out this morning and everything?
No, I got up, got work done, just get my body work done. Yeah, I get stretched almost every day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for joining us. I'm going to go through a couple of quick things here, and we'll get going so you guys can talk with Chris and get this discussion going. On behalf of Denver 7, thank you all for being here. We're launching a new series, Table for 7, where we bring members of the community, or in this case, a sports figure, to discuss topical issues. And today, as you might see, we're at Elway's. We're discussing the Denver Broncos. You might have heard of John Elway, obviously. Today we have Chris Harris representing us as a member of the Denver Broncos. And Chris, you probably all know from the no-fly zone, but also he is one of the best players, not only in the team, but in the league. He's an all-pro cornerback. So we're lucky to have Chris here, and I appreciate Chris being here. I have to do some quick business on rules of engagement, just so you know how this works. And I don't anticipate with fans of the team, because some of the discussions we'll do will be more controversial issues in the community, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page. For everyone watching at home or online, there's no tolerance for profanity, violence, or hate speech of any kind with this conversation. If anyone at any point is violating these terms, you will be given a warning. If you continue, you'll be given a second warning. On a third offense, we will escort you out with security. Everyone in this room is a willing participant in this discussion and acknowledges that Denver 7 has full editorial ownership of the footage broadcast and posted. So again, it's just want to make sure we're on the same page, but that's not this type of discussion. So let's turn it to a more fun thing. So to kick things off, I'm Troy Rank with Denver 7. I have been covering sports in the Denver community for a little over 20 years, both the Colorado Rockies as a beat writer, and I covered the Broncos from '96 to 2000, and now again from 2014 to present. So I've been able to cover all three of the Broncos Super Bowl titles.
Lucky.
So I'm lucky, and I grew up in Pueblo, Colorado, around a lot of Bronco fans, so I'm fortunate to do this. But again, I would like to welcome Chris Harris, all-pro cornerback from the Denver Broncos, for attending this, and we're just going to kick it off. Let you guys kind of ask Chris questions. I'll be here to moderate, but we're here for you to kind of learn things about the Broncos and Chris. So if you've got a question, go ahead and jump in.
Awesome. You've been waiting.
I've been waiting. I've got a list.
She's prepared. You guys prepared.
I was prepared.
That's like my wife. Schedules everything.
I was like, well, once I found out, I said, so when it comes to defense, which quarterback and which wide receiver are the most difficult to cover?
I would say quarterback, receiver 10, I would say Tom Brady and Gronkowski. I would say they have great chemistry, and Gronkowski is just a physical monster, being I think he's like 6'6", 260. So just his size, and then Brady's accuracy. He's so smart. He's a quarterback that really, he's like Peyton. He's 100% football. That's all he does when it's time to play football. So you have to really try to outsteady Brady, but it's hard to do. But those two guys, I think, have been my toughest matchups since I've been in the league.
Well, tell me, Chris, were you nervous in the AFC Championship after they tied it? Because you ended up on coverage on Gronkowski. Yeah. Were you nervous when it got to that two-point conversion?
All our safeties got hurt that game. People don't realize TJ got hurt and Darren Stewart got hurt. So I was forced to play the dime, which I've never played. I've never played any practice. Still never played it. That's the only time in my career I played dime is in that game. So it was very nervous-wracking. I didn't know what to do. It was hard, but I was able to finish the deal though and make sure we win the game.
You know, on that, speaking of that, everybody talks about from that game, maybe that last drive. A lot of the Patriot fans talk about how Gronk got interfered with. Yeah. But on that last touchdown, he threw you out of the way to catch that ball.
Yeah, he did.
Nobody ever said anything about that.
I mean, that's how it is now in the NFL. I mean, they really let the offense do whatever they want, and it's very hard for a DB. I mean, it's from the time when I even got in the NFL, 2011, I mean, we can be way more physical, put way more hands on them. So now it's totally changed. So it's a straight offensive league. I think they want them to average 40 points a game. Sure.
That's what it looks like.
How did it feel winning that Super Bowl? This same jersey I'm wearing, the same hat. This is what I took when I went to go see you guys.
It feels good, but now you just, I don't know, you're just hungry for more. You want more. It's kind of, you want to win another one. I think if you can win two, I think that's kind of a different level. So that's our main goal, try to get another one.
Yeah, I remember back in the day when John Elway was a quarterback. We beat the Packers, then we went back-to-back against the Falcons. Man, that was exciting because we went as the underdog against the Packers and beating a team that was favored by I think 14 points back then. Yeah, it felt really great, and I mean the team.
Oh yeah, hopefully we get back. I like this team.
Yeah,
Where was everyone in 1998?
1998?
When we did win the Super Bowl. That was the first year, right? 98.
The '97 season.
97 season. Yeah, 98.
I was at the Longmont Daily Times Call covering prep sports, and I covered that team. Even though it was a small paper, we traveled back then, so I covered it more as a columnist. But when they went there, they were a huge underdog. Like you guys were an underdog against Carolina, but that Super Bowl with the Broncos Packers, because Favre was his chance to repeat. If I remember, they'd beaten the Patriots previous year, but nobody was giving the Broncos a chance. So I was at a small paper. Where were you?
I was at home watching the game with my daughter.
Nervous?
Well, I was sitting there and biting my nails, but it's an exciting thing.
Yeah, it was
back
so
then,
exciting.
It's exciting just to sit and watch it. And I had neighbors come over, and we were all watching it together. My upstairs neighbor was a Raiders fan, because I live in a condo. So it didn't matter. Whoever's playing against the Broncos, he's stomping on the floor every time they get a touchdown. But I have a bullhorn that I yell back up every time we get one. So it's good fun.
That was awesome. Yeah. I was at a close friend's house. We're all still friends these days. And it turns out to be the house of Ben Garland, who used to play with the Broncos, who's now on the Falcons. So that's always a funny story. He was the little annoying brother that was bothering us, and now he's like this awesome player.
Oh yeah, I love him.
How old were you in 1998?
Kid.
Or 9 years old?
9 years old? Who was your favorite team then growing up?
Favorite team? Cowboys. Just you being in Oklahoma, everybody in my family is Cowboys. So it's just, they either like the Chiefs or the Cowboys. I don't know why, but I never liked the Chiefs.
So were you a Deion guy then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Deion, Everson Walls.
Yeah.
All those guys. Aikman. I love Irv. I've done a lot of media with Irv, so he's pretty funny.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why did you pick 25? Where'd that come from?
Oh man, I think at that time that was the best number I had that was open. We had Lindell White my rookie year, and I was 38, and then they had cut Lindell, so I grabbed it as soon as I could. It was like the only 20 number that was available.
Really?
Yeah, they gave Raheem 26 and Quinn Carter 28. And those were the last 20 numbers. So I was lucky to get one at that time.
Did you grab at the end of camp or when he got cut during camp? Did you switch during camp?
I think they let me. No, they didn't give it out to nobody, so I had to wait till the end once I made the team. soon as I made the team, I changed. Immediately.
You just made me cringe a little bit when you said Raheem.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
That Ravens game still hurts a little bit.
It definitely still hurts, for sure.
Do you think about that game only because some people say, I wasn't covering the team that season, I was still in baseball, that might have been the best team Peyton had in terms of talent?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think top to bottom, that was probably the most talented team that we had. O-line was great. Defense was great. We just blew that game. I mean, we had beat Baltimore. I think we just beat them by 30 in Baltimore. So it was just, man, it was crazy, man. I was shocked for sure.
Wasn't it that same year you took that 98-yard touchdown?
Same year, man. And then I think we had won 12 games in a row. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
it was cold that night. Crazy cold.
Oh yeah. I think we win that game. I mean, Trenton Holiday runs 2 kicks back. I think we win that game. Patriots got to come back to Denver. You know, Brady doesn't like playing in Denver in the playoffs, so I definitely think we had a chance to win it with that team.
I agree. Have you ever picked him off, Brady?
Nah, I haven't got Brady. He's smart how he throws at me, for sure.
You get him in the championship game this year.
I got to get him before I retire, for sure. Before he retires. But we don't play him this year, though, so hopefully we see him in the playoffs.
Get him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It'll work out.
Last night, an encouraging game. I mean, it's bringing a little more local. What are your thoughts about this upcoming season? Obviously, last year didn't go the way you guys would have liked.
Yeah.
But what about now? Because that'll probably be the last time we see any of the starters before that Seahawks opener. What do you think about this team now?
I like it. I think yesterday was the first time we really played as one. I think that's the main thing. Everybody has to be connected, and if we're not connected out there on the field with the game plan, with communication, you're not going to win. So the main goal with us is not to beat ourselves and to try to make them work for everything. So I think we did it as a defense, and we know if we get the ball back to offense, give it back to Case, I think they can put up some numbers. We got weapons everywhere, and we got the mad scientist calling the plays. I think he's going to be good.
That's Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator. He faced him when he was with Oakland. That's where you kind of earned the respect for him, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every time we played him, I mean, that's what Joe Woods and Wade Phillips would call him, the mad scientist. But it would always be tough battles every time going against him. I never understood why they let him go. I never understood that because of Derek Carr. I felt like he was playing really good at that time with Musgrave, so it was kind of weird how they let him go.
Hey, that's good though. Good for us.
Oh yeah, we'll take him for sure.
Although you did return a touchdown against them when we played.
Oh yeah,
picked them up.
That was Super Bowl year.
Yeah, it was definitely Musgrave. He hadn't won too many battles versus me. I don't think. Yeah.
Like it.
Do you have, beyond, take the Super Bowl out of it, is there a favorite memory you have as a Bronco? I mean, the Super Bowl, it kind of speaks for itself. Is there a favorite memory, a game that sticks out in your mind in your time here?
Fun game, man. I don't know, man. We've had a lot of good games. The first 5 years were all great, I would say. And going to playoffs every year, 2 Super Bowls. But now you just embrace it. Now you just want to get back there. You see how we made it look easy when we won those 5 division titles in a row. We made it look easy, but now it's a challenge. So you got a whole new it's motivation to make you get back on top, for sure.
There's been a lot of talk about Cortland and Deshaun.
Are
they that good?
Yeah, they are. They really are. I think Cortland, he came in the league. He plays more physical. Like he pushes off more. He's more physical than a lot of rookies come in. They usually come in a little soft, timid. But he's come in. He'll push you down. He'll do whatever. He's very physical. So that's gonna be big, especially if teams want to match and double team DT or Emmanuel. I mean, then you got to deal with 14 one-on-one over there. It's going to be hard for teams to definitely match up with him. And then 17, Hamilton, he can do it all, really. He's just a guy who can play every position. That's what I like about him.
Does Sutton remind you of anyone, being that big and physical?
I mean, I would say he's like Hopkins, the way he goes up. He's a little smaller than Megatron, just a little bit smaller. But those guys that can just go up and get it, Dez Bryant, those guys that can just go up and catch the ball at the high point better than, just some guys can't go up and do that. And he has the ability to just leap over anybody to go get it. That's what Dez, Hopkins, those guys can do. Megatron, when he could do it. Not too many of those guys left.
Yeah,
that are really doing that if you really think about
yeah,
it.
because Dez isn't in the league right now. He'll probably sign with somebody.
Yeah, so he's the new guy that can do that for sure.
Can't believe he fell to the second round.
Oh, I don't understand that at all. I thought he should have went top 10. I don't know how the Cowboys didn't draft him. Him being in SMU and Dallas.
And they needed a receiver.
And you need a receiver, like, he's easily the top pick I would take, easily.
Interesting.
If you watched him, I mean, if you really watched him and watched him work out and you see how big he is, you need a receiver. At Cowboys, that would have been easily. And you can market him great because he's from Dallas.
Yeah, he's from Dallas, right?
Yeah, like.
That's crazy.
Hometown boy.
You guys, do you remember the first time you heard of the no-fly zone? And what'd you think?
Oh, I definitely loved it. I loved, Harris, Talib, T.J. Ward. And how does it feel with Talib not being, around and stuff like that?
Yeah. You miss him for sure, but I like the direction that we're going with the team. I think Roby has a chance to step up and make plays. And it's hard to pay 3 corners. It's just the business of the NFL. You can't. Roby, he had a huge pay raise this year, and then I'm still getting paid and still young, so it's hard to have paid 3 corners $10 million. That doesn't happen in the NFL. So it was just part of the business, really.
Did you enjoy when I know Wade Phillips? He seemed like he had a lot of fun with you guys, especially during the Super Bowl run and stuff like that. Was he one of the the coaches that you loved playing with? Like, did he joke around a lot? And
Oh yeah, I love Wade Phillips. He tries to stay hip, man. He tries to stay like he tries just everything that the millennials doing. He wants to do it. Right. He wants to be involved in it. So he likes that. So that's what you like him. He tries to come down to your level. And I'll never forget I had a bad game versus Pittsburgh, and Coach Wade was like, "You're the best in the league. I'm counting on you next week." And then I go out and play a great game next week. So he knows how to motivate you. That's why Keeb's happy, man. He's having a blast, and he loves it in LA, and hopefully he can retire there. That's where he wants to finish off his career there, and he's happy. So he's happy he gets to go play for Wade for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When we think about the Broncos now, how should we view this team? Because that year you won it, you guys remember the defense, right? Did you have a favorite moment from that Super Bowl and that defense? And then kind of what do you think of this defense now?
From the Super Bowl itself? I think probably obviously the fumble for touchdown, strip sack.
Oh yeah, we had tons of those.
Did you know then it was going to be your night?
Well, we just had a crazy D-line that year, and then linebackers were just James Trevathan. When you have him, he's my favorite linebacker I've ever played with.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How come?
He's 100 miles per hour on the field. He's very smart. I seen him cover Jimmy Graham and just lock Jimmy Graham up one-on-one, and just cover running back so easy. And be able to run with them like a DB. So I love Dan Trevathan. So just to go out there and see everybody on the field, you kind of knew that defense was a once in a lifetime to have. Really no weaknesses, and then have a lot of good backups too. So you don't usually have that. But one thing I see familiar with this defense is our D-line is it's probably better than that. I think. Really? I think it could be better. With the depth that we have there, with the edge rushers. We had D Ware. D Ware was still going crazy then, but he was dealing with injuries at that time. And now we have prime Shaq. Shane is prime right now. Von and Chubb. Those guys outside is going to be very tough to block. Right. With DeMarcus Walker, I think he can kind of play Malik role. I think he can get that good, I think, because Malik didn't start until he was 4th year.
Yeah, we forget that.
Yeah, people forget Malik never started until his 4th year. So D-Walk, I think he's progressing real good. So and Shelby Harris and Kerr, we're loaded in the inside. So and Wolf, I can't miss Wolf, but I'm excited for them boys. I think they're gonna make it easy for us.
Do you guys have a favorite member of the defensive line that he was talking about, that he mentioned? Is there a player on there that you like?
Well, definitely, yeah. Like we were saying, strip sacks were amazing. I mean, Malik Jackson going in there and recovering that fumble in the end zone. That was just, I mean, I think that was kind of we were stopping the run and nobody could, run against us, throw against us. Nobody could do that. That was kind of like the defense, because I remember the NFC Championship game between Carolina and the Cardinals. Carolina just tore up apart the Cardinals, and everybody's like, "Oh, you guys have no chance against Carolina. Cam Newton's going to come in there and score against you." I was like, "No, he's going to do it against this defense, not against this defense. Nope."
Nah.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it all week, man, that we're going to win it. You just feel it.
How could you tell? I mean, what was the vibe?
Just in the air. It was just in the air. Yeah, you just feel it. You just know, man. You're just in that flow state.
When Emmanuel Sanders in the end zone, he's laying down.
Yeah,
his elbows can't sleep on Emmanuel. I'm like, that was great.
Oh, yes,
everybody, yes, that was great.
Was funny, yeah.
What was DeMarcus Ware's speech like that night before the Super Bowl?
Man, I think him and Peyton did a speech. I can't remember what they said. It's so long ago now, but
it sounds like guys are pretty inspired.
I mean, they got everybody ready though. I mean, them two are great motivators. They're perfectionists, so they know how to get everybody going. And Antonio Smith did a lot of motivational stuff too for the team too. Oh yeah, people didn't know he was huge for us. So I kind of see what his role was as Clint McDonald, 98. So I mean, we're so loaded on the D-line. You see the pressure that we had yesterday. So if we can continue to do that, it's going to be hard for teams to block these boys. And as long as we have tight coverage and everybody communicate, play as one, I think we can still be a top #1 defense for sure.
I know it sounds kind of corny, but I also think the fans are awesome in their fan assists.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, like, I sit in the South Stands a lot, so being able to just, like, watch the time run out.
Oh, yeah, we're going to need y'all rocking, definitely. Seattle, for sure.
Oh, yeah,
Try to mess up Russell Wilson as much as possible, for
Yes.
sure, because, I mean, he's going to be scrambling and running around. We're going to have to cover forever, so hopefully that altitude kicks in, so he gets a little tired.
What's the visiting stadium that's most like home? Not counting San Diego, because that's all Broncos.
Yesterday felt like home.
That crowd was nuts.
Yeah.
Everybody could have moved down. It would have only filled like the first 5 rows.
Yeah. It used to be San Diego. It did. Actually, do you have Dr. Pepper? Oh yeah. I'll take it, Mr. Piff. Thank you. Oakland definitely doesn't feel like home. KC doesn't either. It used to be San Diego. It really did, but. Even LA last year was pretty felt like a home game. It was just so hot. But the stadium I love playing in, I love playing in KC. That's fun. I've been playing there since 2007.
Since college, right?
Yeah, so big games there since I was in college, so I love playing there for sure.
What do you guys think of Case Keenum so far? That's been a big issue the last couple years. Chris sees him every day in practice. He probably could give you way more insight. What do you think?
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I've always been a fan, so I like it.
He was on my fantasy team last year.
Hey, so you won that game.
So yeah, great.
Speaking of fantasy, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm excited. I know Gary Kubiak's a big fan of him. I know he picked him up when he was in Houston. I know he wanted to bring him back in here. Was it actually last year? But I guess he got nabbed by, I would say, I don't know if it was last year, but the year before by the Rams.
The Rams
nabbed him before Coops would have been able to pick him up.
How do you guys feel though with him now? I mean, having him come in.
He shows that he wants it. I mean, that's how you want. You want a quarterback that's he's putting everything on the line to be the best, and that's what you want. You want a quarterback that's hungry and wants to learn every day. And him, Chad Kelly, Paxton, they really work. They put in the extra hours and do whatever they can to win. So I like it. I mean, his practice, he makes it tough, and in the games, I think he's just right now he's just getting comfortable. It's a whole new team, whole new receivers, and. Playing a little preseason is not going to just get you all the way there for the game. So hopefully we can figure out, make it easy transition when the real games come, make it to where they can start real fast. Run the balls usually always helps that out, and that's what we've been running the ball great over the preseason. So we can keep that up. I think it'll make it easy for Case to easily transition in the games.
People forget with Chris, he's an undrafted free agent because you see him now. He's one of the most accomplished players in the league. What about underdog stories do you guys like? Because there isn't more of an underdog story than perhaps his. I mean, do you guys aware of that?
Well, that was one of the things, actually, one of my questions, because I know you have your foundation.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it was about being an underdog. And actually, a couple years ago, my daughter works for a nonprofit, and you had all the underdog bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to get more of those, because I got them for all the kids. But from that, what personal experience was it for you that you felt like the underdog, that you wanted to then turn around and encourage other kids that, hey, when you're in this place, this is how you can better yourself?
At my school, when I grew up in high school, I was a single parent home, so I really had to have a lot of discipline growing up. I had to make sure my sister was up every day, making sure we get to school. Just little things like that, so I had to really grow up fast. And just being in high school, I felt like I was one of the best in the state. But I didn't have any offers until like mid-basketball season of football. So then out of nowhere, I get offered to go to Kansas. And man, Gino, he just strolls into basketball practice. He sees me playing basketball and he offers me a scholarship. So it was just my whole life people kind of doubted me. So
that's how. So was it really? Because I know you did football, you did basketball, you did track. So that's how you decided which one you were going to do, by the scholarship or by the?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which were you most passionate about, though?
Oh, basketball, for sure. After I was committed to Kansas for football, I got offered to Oklahoma State in basketball. So I was already committed to KU in football, so I just said I'm just going to go play football.
Do you regret that decision? Oh, no. Okay, good, because we like you playing football.
Nah, if I kept growing, then I wouldn't have regretted it for sure. But that's really how it happened. And then, but I went to KU and ended up starting as a true freshman, started every game, so kind of showed that I was kind of definitely overlooked, pretty much. Even at KU, I mean, we went to Orange Bowl. I won 2 bowls my first 2 years, and then I really never got targeted ever my senior year. So I moved to safety just to try to get noticed. And when I moved to safety, at first I was like the 10th ranked corner going into the draft. When I moved to safety, they moved me like 25. So I thought it was gonna help me, but it really hurt me. And then we had to deal with the lockout. That whole time during the lockout, I'm just at home, people are telling me you can't do it, you might as well just start working. You know, I mean, I'm back home that whole time because I already graduated at college. So I'm back home and pretty much working out, some people would say mooching. I mean, I'm living with my mom back home, you know what I mean?
Because the draft had passed at that point?
The draft already passed. Yeah, I didn't get drafted.
So you're thinking you may not play again?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. So.
How did you stay motivated, though, and keep your spirits up?
My agent, he just kept telling me that we're going to have some looks when the lockout gets up. Just make sure you stay ready. And it was 3 teams that he had, and 2 of the teams passed. The Dolphins and the Cowboys passed. And then Denver just said they just kind of did him a favor.
What was your bonus?
$2,000. I was the last person picked up on the team.
$2,000. So essentially a plane ticket and
a
few meals in the big picture, right?
Oh yeah. I think Lindsey got 25. Think about it, 25. I think he probably got more than that.
I think he got 20, and I know Johnson, the kid from Tennessee, got 50. The most they've ever given an undrafted free agent. I mean, his situation's a little different. Yeah. $2,000, but at that point, you're just any opportunity is a great opportunity.
Oh, yeah, I was just I'll take it, man. And they just picked me up, and then I remember right when I got there, we had a run test.
In Colorado.
Yeah, in Colorado.
With the altitude.
And none of the rookies were there. It was just a couple of undrafteds were there. Vaughn and them weren't there. I guess they haven't done their. It was all different that year. None of the rookies sign their contracts.
Okay. Oh, because of the lockout.
Yeah. So the only people they had there was the undrafted guys, and So we go there, we run the run test with these vets. And some of the vets couldn't make it. They were like, they failed it, and they were just, because you know they had such a long break.
Yeah.
So they failed it, and then the guys that failed it got cut that day. Like,
that day?
That day.
Guys? Or?
No, vets, older guys, or it didn't matter what they were. They got cut those days, and then that's when I realized, I'm like, oh man, this is serious.
This is real stuff.
You guys didn't know. You had no idea that if you didn't run that the right way, you were gone.
Oh yeah, we didn't know, so glad I was ready. And
what was the test? Do you remember?
Man, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a 300-yard shuttle.
Right, that's okay.
Yeah, it was like a shuttle you had to do, and you had to do it 2 times. And if you didn't make it, you were gone. And it was all new because it was Elway's first year.
Coach Fox's first year.
Yes.
So everything was just, I guess I don't know how it was with Coach McDaniels, whatever. I guess it was a big change.
Yeah. The reign of
culture change, whatever.
Yeah. Was that in the old bubble they had, or did they just have you out on the field? Because now they've got a $35 million facility. Well, 42 now.
We used to go to the old bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we did that run test out. We were out
just outside on the field. If you said you got offered by Oklahoma State, were you a point guard or a shooting guard?
Point guard. Yeah.
You shared?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like Chris Paul, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, man. I do it all. Yeah, I still hoop in the off season. I think that's where, I mean, it translates to cornerback, I think.
How so?
You playing defense, having to mirror a guy, trying to play the passing lane, stealing the ball, jump for rebounds, you high pointing the football for interceptions. So I think basketball translates big time to football for sure. Cornerback to my position.
You can see that with Sutton. He played college basketball at SMU for Larry Brown.
You see how he goes up and he high points the ball? Easy. That's where he gets that from.
You played basketball. You played hoops with Parker Frazier, George Frazier's son, right? So George was a broadcaster for the Rockies, played in the big leagues. Parker's his son, and you played travel ball with him, right?
Yeah, AAU. Yeah, Parker. Oh yeah. I mean, I ended up playing Parker all through. His high school was my high school rival.
Which one were you at?
I went to Bixby. He went to Bishop Kelly.
That's right. Okay.
And Parker was a standout pitcher. He was I mean, at that time, even young, he was already one of the top pitchers in the state. So I think he kind of just, I don't know what he's doing now, though. I need to check back in.
I think he's pitching internationally now. He was in the minors for a while. He's still doing it.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I mean, he's to an age now where it's getting harder. But he's still playing pro ball.
How old were you when you started playing?
Basketball?
Or sports in general?
Football, I started playing tackle football at 5.
5 tackle?
Dang.
5. We called it Mighty Mite. Yeah.
Mighty Mite.
And then basketball all year round from after that. But it was cool because everybody I played football with, we all played basketball together. And it was like that. We all got to play basketball together until we graduated.
So it was a pretty solid community that you grew up in.
It was totally opposite. Well, a lot of the guys were everywhere, all over the state, all over. Yeah. So we got to play little league football together, and then once we got older and had to go to our high schools or our schools, middle schools, we kind of everybody branched off. But we played all like AAU basketball all year round. We travel. I've been traveling states, traveling the world for sports pretty much forever since I was a little kid.
Well, before we get another question, go ahead, dig in, guys. You guys can eat. I think you get nervous with him here. You can eat. He's going to be fitter than any of us after this meal anyway. I can guarantee you that.
I get a week off this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
there you go.
He can eat. Eating is the one thing I do well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Pretty cool story about Mr. B.
Oh, yeah.
How much do you guys in the locker room, do they really get into that?
Well, only people that really know is like me, Vaughn, and DT, really. Nobody else. Everybody else is kind of, you know, they weren't here, so they didn't get to witness. I got to see like the end of it. Like he had just started getting sick, but before he was sick, he was there every day. I see him at work every day. He was at practice every day. He didn't miss a practice.
I thought that was neat at training camp when they gave out all the purple towels for all the fans and did that little tribute to him. I thought that was amazing. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, my grandma passed away from Alzheimer's, so
I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I always do a big event in Tulsa. We have it's a huge event that we have in Tulsa for Alzheimer's. So that's huge. I feel their family for sure, what they're going through. Because now it's Miss Bolin and Mr. Bolin. So. Oh, yeah, it's real hard for the family for sure. You have to do everything pretty much for them. They're pretty much, she was like, my grandma was like a kid. You pretty much have to take care of everything.
Were you close to her growing up then?
Oh, yeah.
It makes it even harder because you see him. My grandpa had it, and like you said, they dissolve in a way and age backward to where they're an infant, and the only relationship he had left at the end was with my grandma. And it's hard because the rest of us, they struggle to recognize and struggle, but usually there's a person or two in their life they still remain. Yeah, my grandpa did. I mean, at times where you'd think, well, he's just, it's not there, and then with my grandma, there was still a connection. It was unique, even when. Yeah, it was hard as a kid. You didn't know, because I was 12, 13, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know what age you would have been, but it was hard to understand the disease.
Yeah, I was a kid too. Yeah, we didn't really understand it either, but.
I think it makes it, because the Denver Bronco community, it's a family. I look at it like we're all fans, we all come from different places, different parts, but it's like seeing the Bolins and what they're going through. It touches me because that's my family too. It affects all of us. It affects everybody in the state.
Well, and Annabelle's in the team picture too. So I mean, she's not around like Pat, but you guys know her because she's been in the team picture every year, right?
Oh yeah, we see her all the time. Oh yeah, and they have always women events. You know what I mean? So a wife always hangs out with them and does their events. So I mean, the family, like you said, it's like a family. It really is. So you got to support them in this because. I mean, you never know. You might have this sickness. You never know who's going to have this sickness. So, I would support it for sure.
One of the things about Pat was he was so competitive. I mean, I knew him back in the 90s, but they do a pick-em poll, and I don't know if they did that when you were there.
Oh,
Do you have stories on that with Pat? Because he picked.
I didn't get to play with Pat.
He picked Oklahoma every week. Like that was his team. Because he went to Oklahoma. Pat, the owner, did. So he picked Oklahoma.
I don't know if I can discuss this.
But did you see his competitiveness even then, like in those years? Where
I didn't really get to see it too much, but he was just at practice every day.
Okay, so it clearly mattered to him.
Yeah, so you knew it mattered, and you see him in the locker room. He was around.
Right.
And then he just slowly started not coming around.
Right.
And then that's when we realized, okay, he's
going through something.
Yeah, he's going through something. Well.
Will you go to Canton?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't see why he couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, will you go? Will you go to the ceremony?
Hopefully.
You guys will be in camp, obviously.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going if Champ's going for sure. Like I was supposed to go this year for Doc. He invited me, but I couldn't go. But Champ, they can't say I can't go to Champ.
What kind of mentor was he for you? How much did he shape your career? Because I mean, Champ Bailey for me is in the argument as greatest cornerbacks of all time.
Oh yeah.
If he played in Dallas or Steelers, I think people would think he is. Deion might be the best coverage corner, but I mean, how did Champ help you, I guess, and how would you describe him as?
Just his competitiveness, just seeing how he competed every day and came to work. He was a true professional. I mean, Champ was like, I'll never forget Champ saying, like dudes were missing work because they were sick, and Champ was like, man, I've been in the league 14 years. I haven't missed a day of work ever. I'm like, just hearing him say stuff like that.
You're a kid then, right? Like,
oh yeah, I'm just soaking it all in, and I mean, what motivated me and helped me was that he wanted me out there on the field with him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like him and Dawkins, they wanted me on the field. And when you have guys like those guys and we're working together and we're trying to be the best out there on the field, and they actually want me to be out there making plays with them, I think that's what really gave me that boost that I can really play in the NFL right there. You don't get Hall of Fame guys saying they want a rookie, undrafted rookie out there on the field with you, especially not Champ Bailey or Brian Dawkins. Even Goody, Andre Goodman, I mean, he played in the league 10 years. 10 years plus at corner. So it was good to have those vets coming in the NFL for sure. I was trying to do that for Isaac, just trying to help him out.
Right. Let him know you can use him this year. Try to microwave his development.
Because it'll be hard. I mean, it's hard right now. I mean, he's a rookie and you throwing in the fire. That's how it is in the NFL, and they're gonna keep throwing at you until you make them pay.
You like being on the outside more or in the slot more? Outside.
I think it's easier for me because then I can really show my coverage skills.
You're one of the best that's ever been on the inside, though.
Oh yeah.
Watching you play in there.
Inside. Yeah, I do.
And that's why right there. That attitude is why.
But it's just, I don't know, sometimes you just want a new challenge. I feel like my third year, I played nothing but outside. People don't realize that.
Right.
My fourth year, I did too. I played nothing but right corner. A lot of people forget that too. And then 2015, that's when I moved back to the slot. When Wade came in.
Right.
So people think I've been playing it really 24/7 like my whole career. I haven't done that. So, but my best years have been when I played strictly outside. Those have been my best stat years.
And you guys, like, it's weird when I cover professional sports, the confidence that's required to succeed.
Yeah.
Do you have people that you're around in your life that are confident, that makes sense in real life, or do you see it more when you watch sports figures?
If you ask my wife, she'll say I'm the cockiest person she's ever known. And it's not justified, I'm sure, but I see it. I see other people who, you know, they're that confident in whatever it is they do, and that's what makes them good at that.
Yeah, for me it's more personal because like a couple years ago I had like an allergic reaction to hair dye, so I can't wear colors on my skin anymore. I can only wear 100% cotton and white. So if you see me flipping them, it's because I can't have the color, but I can't grow my hair back out, so it's hard. So honestly, the thing that motivates me and keeps me going, because I feel like my skin's on fire all the time, and there's nothing I can take. I've been in the Mayo Clinic, and it's just one of those weird autoimmune diseases that quitting's not an option. I have a 22-year-old daughter. You got to keep going, and honestly, it's watching you guys play. It's going to events, and it's getting motivated, and every time I see you guys play, that keeps me going. Because if you can do it, I can do it.
I remember that when I'm out there on the field. It's a tough situation.
Well, and it's always, my friend Katie, and she always says, best we can every day. Yeah. And that's how I look at it. It's every day, best we can. Got to make the most out of every day.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I look at it, it's like I see you guys out there, and that's why before I could go to a game, I used to sit at home and see the TV shake. And I couldn't afford to go to a game because I was a single mom myself. But the day my daughter told me she decided to quit dancing, it was like an extra $5,000 a year. I'm like, I get to go to a Bronco game. Yeah. I finally get to go. But to be there and be that fan that's stomping in the seats and cheering and yelling and helping you guys out, it's the best feeling in the world.
Oh, yeah. Y'all help us too.
Have you all been to a game? What's it like? As a fan, I don't go as a fan.
What's your favorite game y'all been to?
It's so fun.
Super Bowl 50.
Super Bowl 50, that's y'all.
You made the trip?
Yeah.
That was y'all best game?
That was.
What about best game at Mile High?
Yeah, what
Best
about
game at Mile High. Man.
It was the year we played I think it was the
Had a lot
AFC
of good
Championships, right? Against the Patriots, and it was
Patriots.
freezing.
Patriots and the Blizzard.
With the mustache.
The snow mustache.
So here's the thing, they gave the mustaches, but I had brought randomly the big blue mustache that you could buy at the store. And so I throw that on before I even realize you get the orange mustache. That thing kept me warm the entire game.
A mustache?
I did not take it off.
Now you know why Charlie Blackmon wears that beard.
There you go.
But he plays in the summer.
But that was exciting though. It was a blizzard, but it's
It
like
was
we
so
set a Guinness Book of
cold.
World
Oh,
Records
yeah.
as fans.
Yeah.
Wearing those mustaches. And
Yep, and it was bitterly cold.
Dang, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
You didn't? No, they handed them out. They had them in each of the cup holders, and it was
We so cold, nobody knows.
You would have one underneath your face mask.
I was trying to keep my footing out there.
What was your favorite game that you've been to?
I went to the Dolphins game where Champ Bailey came out. It's where he was done playing.
There you go. That's mustache.
Yeah.
The Champ Bailey game?
Yeah.
I know a game, 2014.
Yeah.
Oh, his Ring of Fame game? When he went in the Ring of Fame?
I don't think he's been in the Ring of Fame yet.
Not yet. He will be.
I always like the.
How many years?
Oh, yeah.
Take?
That's right. Five.
Other than
So
Elway.
he'll go in the Ring of Fame and the Hall of Fame.
Full, right?
We'll have a lot of accolades. We'll see champ a lot.
Because he's going to go to Canton. That'd be great if he and Mr. B would go at the same time.
Easy.
Which I would think has got a real good chance of happening.
Is it this year? Is he eligible, or is it next year?
Yeah, champ will be.
This year.
He'll be first ballot, easy. I don't see no
If
problem.
he's not first ballot, then no one is as a cornerback, honestly. I mean, you can't play the position better than he did.
I think another Bronco that's going to be on there is Steve Atwater, right?
Again, if Atwater had played now, he is Earl Thomas. He was a bigger version of Earl Thomas.
He was?
Oh, my word. I covered him.
I didn't get to really watch Atwater too much.
He was so big and physical. I mean, he
could cover for a big guy. He could stay with the
right. But the problem is teams only threw 20 to 25 times a game, so he got known for more big hits than coverage. But if you did the analytics, like Chris grades out, he's one of the best coverage guys. None of that existed back then. A and B, teams didn't throw very much. I mean, if teams threw 25 times, that was a lot. So you just. Again, if he played in today's era, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because Earl Thomas is going to be in the Hall of Fame, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve was like a bigger version of Earl Thomas.
Super Bowl 32 alone should have put Atwater in the Hall of Fame where he played that. He would have been MVP.
That's one of the best hits in the history of the NFL. He'd be flagged now, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what do you think is taking so long? Or why do you think it's so hard for Denver players to even get looked at?
Because they're in Denver. Just being in the middle of the country, not on the East Coast.
Is it the media that's not pulling for everybody in this area, or is the market small? Is that the difference?
Probably a little bit of both.
When you guys talk to friends about the Broncos that don't live here, do they know how good they've been?
I mean, most of.
Or is it? With Peyton, they did. Like Peyton was different because Peyton became a national event.
Mostly not, I don't think. You know, like most guys have no idea who Randy Gradishar was. You know, that guy's one of the best linebackers ever lived. And look at his tackle numbers for the 10 years he played. He should be it, and he's not.
A guy you would have loved off that team is Louis Wright. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now, he was as good as it gets as a corner. And that Orange Crest defense.
How's he not Hall of Fame?
They don't have one.
Part of they didn't win a Super Bowl, which if you look at, I don't vote for the Hall of Fame. I vote for Baseball Hall of Fame. I have a vote for the baseball.
So you have baseball.
I do, but it's different because there's like 400 of us with a vote independently. We fill out a ballot and mail it in. The Football Hall of Fame, it's 48 guys meet in a room and debate. Like in person. In baseball, we literally blind ballot and mail it in or email it now.
400 people versus 48?
Yeah, that's why I like ours, the Baseball Hall of Fame process better, because we don't talk about it.
Right.
Like, I mean, you can call someone and say, hey, you covered this guy, what do you think? Or I'll call an ex-player, but you don't have the pressure of the room.
Exactly.
And that's where I feel like that's a weird process.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah, you can definitely get talked out of that. Yeah, you can definitely get talked out of your decision.
Well, there's politicking involved. I'll just put it that way. Like, hey, if you vote for my guy this year, I'll vote for you. And that's not how the process should work. It's either you're Hall of Famer or you're not based on what you want or you want. Like, that, to me.
Probably why T.O. went off.
That's
probably why, man.
That's part of it. And again, I don't.
Because he should have been first ballot too.
Right. Yeah, if it's just stats alone.
By the numbers, exactly.
Easy first ballot. Like.
Well, Gradishar's is crazy because one of the reasons his tackle total is it gets held against him because no one can believe he averaged like 18, 20 tackles a game. Right. So they just assume that the statistics were inflated. And having, again, most of these games weren't on TV. You have to understand there's no replay, there's no video archive of it, so it's just trusting the team's stats, and so there's a feeling like, did they inflate the stats? Because you see the number, and he literally was averaging like 18, 19 tackles a game, and the next closest guy's like 14 or 13.
Yeah, he averaged 200 tackles a year, and
when they play 12 games a year.
Guys don't get 120 anymore.
So they just didn't believe it.
So he was just that good.
He was that good on a defense, and that defense, that Orange Crush, was the equivalent of your guys the year you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Denver became a football city the year the Orange Crush, they went to the Super Bowl and they beat the Raiders in the AFC Championship game with Kenny Stabler and John Madden. Tom Jackson was on that Broncos team, Lyle Alzado.
Well, they got beat by the Raiders.
No, they beat the Raiders to go to the Super Bowl and they lost to the Cowboys. But that was when the Broncos became the Broncos. It was this dusty old cow town that nobody knew about, and that was the moment the Broncos kind of became the Broncos.
Yeah.
When they went to that first Super Bowl. They got crushed by the Cowboys, but they beat the Raiders. And
that's all that matters.
Who was on that Cowboys team? Was that
Roger Staubach, Golden Richard, Tony Dorsett,
Oh, yeah, they were stacked.
Had Too Tall Jones.
Yeah,
that was a great Cowboys
they were just stacked.
And the Broncos kind of limped into that game. Like they weren't ready for that.
Even then, the defense held them in that game. You know, I think we had 8 turnovers.
Yeah, Broncos had 8 turnovers in that game. They were still competitive.
And still only gave up 27 points.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine that?
It's still lost. If I get 8 turnovers, man, we better win. I know that.
I find that some people still think Colorado and Denver is a cow town, though. Because I lived in New York City for a while, and people really thought it was Cowboys and Indians.
Well, that, or they think we're in the middle of the mountains.
And all we do is ski.
Yeah, they definitely do that.
It's always snowy here.
Yep.
Do you get that with friends about how cold they think it is and it's not?
Yeah, everybody thinks it's just always snow 24/7.
It's 300 days of sunshine.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's pretty nice here. It's definitely hotter in Dallas for sure. That's where I'm at all season.
We have definite seasons, which a lot of states don't, because my family's from Georgia, Alabama, and so you get one kind of weather. Same thing, Dallas, you get one kind of weather. We're here, we've got seasons. But of course, you could have a blizzard in July. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen out here.
After last week's preseason game, you know, the game ends and, you know, you're walking through and I was like,
thunderstorm.
Oh my God, where'd that come from?
And that was the hardest time ever right there, having to take my babies, get them in the car with that freaking...
Yeah, it just came down hard.
That was coming down.
I was going to say, because he brought up his kids, what's your most favorite part about being a dad? Because I know you have the girls.
I was playing with them. I had them out there getting their shots. I tell them to shoot long distance, so I'm working on getting them Steph Curry distance right now. Working on them right now. So you got to do that. I feel like I got to be involved with them and just keep them active. They always want to play, so I might as well get them working.
How old are your kids now?
Yeah, 3. One's 3. She'll be 4 October 25th. One just turned 2, and then one she's almost about 3 months.
She's a baby.
Yeah, she's a baby.
So do any of them have a little basketball that you're working on to start them like
yeah,
daddy?
they all do. Yeah, I had to get them separate balls because
Are they color-coded so they know this is mine and this is yours?
Yeah, I got a pink basketball and a regular basketball, but they...
Oh, do you?
Yeah, girls, they fight over if it's just one ball. They ain't gonna have
No sharing.
They gotta have their own.
That's kind of like the Rockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need more than one ball with Harden.
Yeah.
So what do you, knowing that you came from a single mother household, what is one quality that you find that you learn the most or you respect your mother for the most?
I would say work ethic, that's one. What's another one? That's a good one. I don't know, we just had to grow up early. So she made us disciplined early, we learned that early, and we was like on a set schedule. I mean, just as soon as we come out from school, we know we gotta finish this homework, we can't do anything. And I try to spend as much time with my mom I could that time period, because she would usually go back off and work again. So I'd be with my little sister all day, pretty much all evening until she come back until like 9. So from like 2 to 9, after school, it would just be me and my sister most of the time.
And what kept you going? Because like we all know peers and external influences, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to get us off track or whatnot. Yeah. So what do you really think kept you on the straight and narrow?
I think just my relationship with Jesus. I think that really helped me out, just my faith. 'Cause I could have definitely gave up and quit after football season when I didn't have any offers or anything. I mean, that was very frustrating at that time. I remember one time we played a team, this kid is another corner, or I think he played corner or safety, he was a DB, whatever. He's going to Arkansas. I had 3 touchdowns that game, or whatever, and like 12 tackles and an interception. I went crazy. And then like, I went on a visit, we both went back on a visit to Arkansas together. He was already committed and offered, they didn't even offer me. So like things like that, I was always frustrated. Always frustrated, so I think that was the only way I could stay in line was just my relationship, my faith, just because it was very frustrating. I couldn't believe it. I was always shocked, like, what is going on here? Like, I can't get any offers, no school wants me. Like,
did you have a verse or a mantra or something that kind of kept you going?
At that time, it was, Man, I'm trying to think. What was my favorite scripture when I was in high school? I don't know. I can't remember my favorite. Now, Philippians 4:13. I love that scripture.
Carl Mecklenburg. He signs it every time he does an autograph. That. Always. Always.
But that time, it was just so frustrating. I couldn't believe it. It was just, I had schools come to my games. We played like, even Tulsa University, they still didn't even offer. Like, they'd come to my game, opening kickoff, I would run it back and score. And they'd be at my game. And
you're like, look at me, look at me.
Still, no offer, no nothing. Nothing at all. And then after Kansas offered me, they wanted to offer me. And then all these other schools started to offer me. So I was just.
So what, they were waiting for the first one?
I guess, like I never understood that. Like, you're in your hometown, like I'm one of the best players.
Right, because they were your home school. They would know more about it than anybody.
Exactly.
And they would have known about it.
It was just so weird, man, how God laid it out.
Did you feel at that time like God had a plan for you? Did that
I
was your
didn't
only
know,
way to
man.
get through it?
I was confused at the time. I was kind of angry with God. Like, what's going on here? Like,
we've been there.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just angry at that time and just like I never understood it.
Do you know why Kansas? Did you ever get the opportunity to figure out,
why?
ask someone like what pushed it over so that I could get an offer?
From Kansas? Well, it's a powerhouse. It's called Jenks High School in Oklahoma. It's a powerhouse. They're well known in the nation. They win national championships sometimes. And their head coach was like, we got a player that's nobody's looked at. He's at a high school 5 minutes away. And he told them to come check me out, and they came check me out, and that's pretty much when they offered me. They really didn't know about me until he told.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was God.
Yeah. So they didn't know until he told, and then my Coach Mangino and them told me that his name was Alan Trimble. He had told them that I was a player that they need to look at, and I have a great relationship with the guy too, the other coach that told the coaches about me. Now it's crazy how things work. If I go back home, sometimes I'll go work out at their school because they have the best, they're top of the line technology, everything. Instead of going back to my school sometimes, just because he showed a lot of love for me to be able to go there.
That's a great story though. It gives a lot of. I mean, I don't think we see that enough these days, especially when it comes to even
I got a crazy
high school sports or things like that. People aren't looking out for each other, so I think that's awesome.
Not a lot of schools would do that. I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, we got to wrap it up, but as we do here, Chris, do you have a final message on, you're with Bronco fans and why they should be optimistic about this year in terms of rebounding? What is it that you've gleaned from since January that makes you optimistic about the team rebounding this season?
I just think team camaraderie. I think everybody likes each other. I think in order to win, everybody has to get along, and I don't think we had that the past 2 years. I don't think everybody was connected as a team, as one, and I think this year we are. So it don't matter how much talent you have. You've seen the most talented teams, they can't play together, and they lose. So as long as everybody can play together, I think we have a great chance of winning, and everybody likes each other. I mean, it's cool to go to work and you actually like the people that you work with, and when you have that, I think you have a greater chance of winning.
Well, that's our first ever Denver 7 Table for 7. I appreciate you guys so much for participating. Chris Harris, again, All-Pro Corner, I can't thank you enough for being our first guest for what we hope is a very successful series. And it couldn't be better than to start with a Denver Bronco, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. We really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.